Welcome back to the Vue 3 Beginner tutorial series. In the previous episode, we learned how to conditionally render elements using directives like vif, velse, and vshow. Today we'll learn another essential Vue feature, list rendering. You'll discover how to display collections of data dynamically using Vue's V for directive. So, what exactly is list rendering? In real applications, we rarely display just a single piece of data. Think about a shopping cart, a list of users, blog posts, or notifications. These are all collections of data. Instead of writing the same HTML over and over again, Vue allows us to generate elements automatically from arrays. This feature is called list rendering. Now that we understand the idea behind it, let's build our first example. Before we begin, let's create a simple array containing a few fruits. Now let's use Vue's V for directive. We'll place it on the li element and tell Vue to iterate over our fruits array. For every item in the array, Vue creates a new list item automatically. During each iteration, the current item is available through the fruit variable, which we can display using interpolation. As you can see, a single line of template code generates the entire list. Sometimes we need more than just the current item. Vue also gives us access to the index of each item in the array. To access it, simply add a second variable inside the parentheses. Now we can display both the index and the current item. This is useful for numbered lists or whenever you need to know an item's position inside the array. So far, we've been working with simple strings, but in real applications, you'll usually work with arrays of objects. To demonstrate this, let's create an array of user objects. Now that our data is ready, let's render it using the V for directive. We'll iterate over the user's array and expose each object through the user variable. Inside the loop, we can access any property of the current object, such as its name or age. As you can see, Vue renders a separate block for every user in the array. This allows us to build much richer interfaces than when working with simple strings. Before we move on, there's one important thing we should add to every V for loop. Whenever you use v-for, it's considered a best practice to provide a unique key. In this example, every user already has a unique ID, so we'll simply use that as the key. But why is a key actually important? Imagine we add, remove, or reorder items in the list. Vue compares the previous version of the list with the new one. Thanks to the unique keys, Vue knows exactly which items stayed the same and which ones changed. Instead of recreating the entire list, it updates only the elements that need to change. This makes rendering more efficient and helps avoid unexpected behavior in your application. So far, our list has been static. Let's make it a little more dynamic. We'll start by adding a button that inserts a new user into the list. Since our array is reactive, updating it automatically updates the user interface. Let's add a new user to the list. As you can see, Vue immediately renders the new item without us having to update the DOM manually. Adding new items is only half the story. Let's also make it possible to remove them. As you can see, removing items works exactly the same way. Vue detects the change and updates the rendered list automatically. Now that you've seen how it works, let's look at some real-world use cases. List rendering is one of the most frequently used features in Vue. You'll use it to display shopping carts, product catalogs, blog posts, notifications, dashboards, and to-do lists. Whenever you need to render a collection of data, v-for is the directive you'll reach for. Combined with Vue's reactivity system, it makes building dynamic user interfaces both simple and efficient. Today, we learned how to render collections of data using Vue's v-for directive. We covered rendering arrays, accessing indexes, working with arrays of objects, using unique keys, and updating lists reactively. These are essential skills that you'll use in almost every Vue application you build. In the next episode, we'll learn how to pass data from a parent component to a child component using props. You'll discover how components communicate with each other and how props make your applications more reusable and easier to maintain. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.